All right, welcome back. How was it?
It was great.
Well, I'll note you're glowing.
It was nice to have the luxury of that much time unplugged and tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
There were parts where I was like, yeah, then the parts, how long is it? Like there's always that concern of, do I know when time is? And then the rest of the time is just sinking into it. It was interesting to feel where my body got to relax, and also to notice more profoundly where my body holds no matter what.
So physically, like where you're holding tension.
Yeah, just to see which parts were going, yes, I'm totally relaxed into the fact that I'm being held, and other parts where I'm still aware where my leg is and where parts of it are still have this underlying holding even though it's being held. And so that was really interesting because you don't get that when you're pressed into the ground.
No.
You don't get when you're floating, what is your body doing? And it was fun to just do some experimenting in there, how body feels, where there's that sensation of relationship with other when you're engaging with your skin, and other things where it feels held, watching where my thoughts are, how much I could hear. There was the faintest hint of vibration of outer sound,
Mm-hmm.
but it's something that you wouldn't hear unless I listen every day. I'm listening to my body all as much as I can. So
Mm-hmm.
I wake up in the morning, and my husband can't hear the subway, but I can hear it.
Right.
It's much further away, but it's just this little sound, and it was just more of a vibration. It was like it was a big truck or something, and it was just a little, very subtle.
Right. And we have all our windows open, but tomorrow we're getting our air conditioning turned on. So, yeah. So hopefully no more vibration after tomorrow.
Very, very little. There's only one place where I felt like might have been a big truck or something.
Yeah.
Like, other than that,
We're for those of you who don't know, we're on top of a bar, and we were a little hesitant to embark on opening up a place like this above a bar, but we hired an acoustician, and we went through all this soundproofing. So when the bar is rocking downstairs, we don't hear it.
I doubt that anyone would have heard it. And also when I go and get any kind of surgery done, they have to use a lot more anesthetic because I feel it, and even then I still feel it because I'm just tuned in, sensitive, and that's my gift. It doesn't. The nice thing is I can be at peace with, oh, this is happening, have a communication with my body. But it was a nice place to relax and a nice place to explore, and there was the curiosity, what would my body do with this experience if I got to do it more times? What would happen with that tension? There are places where I took breath to see what my body would do with it, and feeling where sometimes there's subtle shifts in the heartbeat. That was so cool. It was like 3D. So it was like the heartbeat was all the way around me, and that is so cool. Boom, 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 boom. And then this little bit of this flow that you hear with it. Like I never hear that unless when you're doing the stethoscope, you kind of hear it like that, but this is better.
Right.
I notice my voice feels deeper to me.
Mm-hmm.
More awareness in a positive way of the weight of my body. It happens every day, but when you're coming out of there, you're more aware of it, and in a good way. It's a nice grounded, here's the weight of my body.
So you talked a little bit about your conception of time while you were in there. Like, so when the 60 minutes were up, how long had you thought you were in there at that moment?
I didn't count. I made sure not to count.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, isn't that it? I have no idea. Like, is it a lot of times? I have no idea. So I didn't do because I know that sometimes I can be doing energy work, and whoa, there's an hour of time. Oh, there's it. So I'm familiar with space of trance.
Mm-hmm.
But there were places where I was like, wow, it's still time. Wow. Oh. You know, I was curious as to whether it was going to feel shorter or longer. But it felt like a really good amount of time. It felt abundant.
And so you talked about breathing into certain parts of your body. Did you do any other kind of more formal meditation techniques, or did you just go on a journey?
Well, my practices are pretty natural to me.
Mm-hmm.
So at times I was doing the tongue touching, as I just found myself doing that. And I have a mantra that I say, and I said it pretty much the whole time in there. I did some of my rooting practice in there. And it's interesting how heavy my hands felt the one time I did that. It was just kind of like, ooh, hands. And then feeling them in the water. I did a lot of listening and letting my body orient itself. There was a while where my head kind of went a little too far, and then realizing a little slightly tucked, or just kind of playing with what's going to be the most relaxed position to be in, or playing with putting my hands here, or sometimes when I'm doing, or just kind of listening, and sometimes the body will adjust itself. It'll want to move this way, or want to move, and so getting to let the body do that. There's a lot of that practice of following where the energy is in my body, following where my attention is. And isn't that interesting? There's those thoughts there. Or isn't that oh, this is a really nice relaxed space. So those are the kind of practices that I do in general. But it was nice to have a space where I'm not distracted by anything else at all. And did some listening in with parts, and listening in with my little girl. Checking to see what she needed, and it's nice to have this space.
Did you have the light off the whole time?
Didn't realize that you have to turn the outer light off because you'll see it through it.
Oh, I should have told you. That would have gone off within 60 seconds automatically.
Oh, I didn't know, so I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I went out there to try to turn that off. And then I had music on at the very beginning for a few minutes, and then I'm like, oh, okay, that was nice. I turned it off because it was much more interesting to explore what I don't normally get to explore that way. So I have great ideas too for sharing a space for people to come in.
Ooh.
So some wonderful things came in for that. So just having this very nurturing, sensuous, safe experience for people to come in. It's this whole experience, having that experience when they come in. And doing an energy grid for while they're in there, so that they're also receiving energy work while they're in there.
So pardon my ignorance, what's an energy grid?
It's another way of sending energy work. It's as I work at distance with people. And when I first started doing it, my mind, I couldn't stay quiet enough. I couldn't stay focused enough, so I ended up drawing. And then they started working through art. And I also worked through crystals. So sometimes when I'm doing it at distance, they would have me, I put crystals on people during energy sessions a lot of times because it supports and deepens the energy work that's happening. And a lot of that is it's intuitive work. So I listen, I do what I'm told. So I do grids as well. So I'll do particular grids, work with different stones, and create a grid and energy channels through it. And I do a transmission from my private clients every week. It's a night where they get to be home, relax, and lots of good stuff happens without them being in my office or on my table. Let's do that at home. So we'll create one for here.
Right.
So they'll have a whole energy experience while they're in there. And I was doing energy work throughout. There were times too when I got different shifts in energy, different movements, or would find like when you're doing a session, and as you run across where there is an energy block, sometimes the energy will accelerate, or you might get what they call like a little bit of jolt of energy, or a little bit of where the energy comes up against the block. And then a little bit of trembling or stuff in the body, so there was some of that. And it was fun.
Right. ready for some tea?
Why, yes.
Come see our wonderful assortment.
All right, this was fun. You guys find something relaxing to do and come visit.